Welcome on back, folks, to Valorant Challengers Open #1, and it is grand finals between Envy and Immortals, really starting to heat up. Map number 3 coming at you guys in just a little bit. It's Bind, but for now it's myself, Upmind, joined here by Sully, and we have a whole lot to talk about in terms of Icebox and the 24-round banger.
Jeez, where do we even start? I mean, it was so back and forth. It's crazy to think that that game was 7-1 at a certain point in time. We can run it back. Again, this entire event has felt like a whole highlight reel. In this map, I feel like encapsulated everything. Those insane plays by Caboose in the beginning. I mean, this last second play as well. There was just so much action that it feels almost impossible to dive even deeper. I mean, we go back to Nature and his insane plays. There is so much going on. Immortals, they bring it all the way back. What more could we ask for in this best of 5?
Nah, absolutely nothing at this point. Both map picks being taken away. We have all the individual fraggers that we expected earlier absolutely popping off, especially shoutout with that 3v1 clutch. I mean, you gotta be kidding me when he used the Stinger out for that one. And even then, Immortals, a couple of rounds later, yet another Stinger 3K to clutch up a round. At that point, Immortals, they had all the hope in the world, but what really seeped it away was this Caboose lurk.
Yeah, Caboose, especially on these lurks. I mean, there were so many lurks going on throughout this entire game that it felt like it was just who could get the better flank, what was happening, right? We saw FNS and Food on a huge flank on the defensive side to clutch out a massive round. Now we're headed into a third map Bind. It is going to be the map pick of Envy, and for good reason. Currently, they are undefeated on this map, a 9-1 map scoreline out of the last 10 maps that they've played. I mean, they look insane. I think no team has gotten over 8 rounds, and the only team that did get 8 rounds on them was XSET. So this is one of the best maps for Envy, but we also said that about Icebox for the likes of Immortals. Now, for the Immortals side, this is a map they haven't played as often. I don't think they've actually played it at all as a core 5, but in the past, they were very good on it. So it's kind of the same thing with Icebox. We didn't see Envy on it. It was a blank sheet for them, a blank canvas, if you will, and it's the same thing here on Bind, at least for the side of Immortals.
And Bind has been perfect for this team of NB. Like you said, 4-0, but even then, I don't get what is up with these teams that just have very, I guess you could say, trusty picks in a sense, or with how long this tournament has actually gone down. Immortals hasn't been on Bind once, but before this tournament, Immortals was almost perfect on this map, going 5-1 in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So it leaves me with a little bit of a head scratcher. This core of 3 is still very much gonna have a fun time with this map. But back to Icebox, we actually had a poll from Twitch chat at the beginning of the game, and 46% of chatters said that Icebox would be taken away by Envy. So looks like the minority actually chose out correctly this time. 54% ended up going to Immortals. And going into this one with the age and comp, we're not expecting anything too crazy as Envy pulled back the Sky.
Yeah, this has been a really good map, I think, in particular for Sky as well. Crashies, very good against NRG. He looked spectacular with it, and an NRG as well with Infinite on the Sky looked really good. There's a lot of question. I feel like a lot of theory crafting with the use of Sky here on Bind. I mean, we saw NRG, at least with Infinite, get super aggressive, kind of build off of that. And I kind of proposed the same question when we saw NRG just the other day, kind of how they were going to play with it. Were they going to get aggressive? Didn't feel like it at all. Envy play very temperate. If anything, they just want to get info early on. Crashies will use those guiding lights to get as much info off the bat, and then Envy, they'll adjust their setup off of that. So going into this one, it's another head scratcher because, again, we don't know much about Immortals. This is the first time they're playing it as a core 5.
First time they're playing as a core 5, and they've made it all the way to the grand finals. That in itself is already insane for Immortals. But, dude, no way they are done. No way they are done with the momentum. They're heading in now into map 3 Bind with the hope of taking down Envy one more time. Because again, folks, before today, Envy had not dropped a singular map in this tournament. Immortals has already done it. They're looking to extend their scoreline. And Envy, once again, they're looking to continue their momentum from Icebox. We're live on Bind as Envy is looking for a little bit of a B take.
Yeah, early info here from Chemicals, though. Huge Boomba. He's going to try and maintain this control. You have a cam in the back, at least for Nature and Chemicals. He has been popping off, but can he do it here again? He didn't spot the cam. Now he has as he ends up taking it out. So Envy, slow and steady. There's that bird going huge. Guiding light to guide them into hookah. And a bouncing shock dart as JC Scotty springs from the TP. It's a paranoia to get them into hookah. They retake the control, and now they're charging forward, but maybe getting a little bit too eager for it.
Potentially so. It's all just chemicals now up in Hookah, still listening out for any sort of contact, but no noise being made. But instead, oh, that's unfortunate.
No.
Mame could have been able to rotate back with his team, potentially go through teleporter or something of the sorts, but instead he goes for the interaction on B, and Nature is there for the frag back. So now Immortals with a man advantage going into the rest of this round, and not only that, but there is still util over towards this site.
There's a flank going on.
No flank going on, and not only that, but a wall up from Food. They're finally going to be able to go for it, but the flank is coming in real hot as Gangsta takes down Food. That flank hasn't come in just yet, and indeed he does. Chemicals takes down Caboose as Immortals off of a very tumultuous, in a sense, interaction over towards the Hookah area. They're able to clean things up on A.
Immortals already picking up a big round to kick things off. Again, we know these teams are extremely momentum based, and for that reason, it's a huge one. Immortals, can they convert this second one though? Envy getting the spike down, can make very minimal investments. Already FNS picking up a frenzy, now Food on the Sheriff, but Immortals looking to turn this into a bonus. Gangsta already does have the Ares pulled out. We'll see what he wants to do with it. I think they're going to vie for at least this orb control early on, right? Gangsta's ult charged up as quickly as you can, right? Get as many points you can towards it and see what you can build off of that. He's going to take the early peek in the guiding light. Once more, guiding these players up towards bathrooms, but it's a big flash, but a slower peek from back. Now Nature looking for a contest on the other side to find one, but Crashies jumping around with a frenzy has actually made this one winnable now.
I like the unison there, Crash. He is very much a question mark on how he was actually able to get both kills, but now he's able to get a third, and that one is a little bit more trusty too. Right from behind onto JC standing. Now it's going to be a 2-on-2. How on earth is this possible? Gangsta. He's the one in heaven waiting out for the contact, and ooh, Crashies. Again, making us mince our words, making us really question what on earth is going on with the recon. Both players are spotted. Not only that, but the wall up in U-Haul is taken down. Finally, Crashies goes down, and that nade is following Food all the way into the back. But the defuse getting stuck at about half. Chemicals gets off of it and still goes for the kill onto Food. That's going to be it for the round, as Immortals takes up the second. But again, very laborious in a sense, because Crashies might have just broken up the economy of Immortals all by himself a little bit in this round.
Yeah, not much for Hero Immortals that they can hold on to. They've got to make reinvestments. Now, I think, again, they're going to try and turn this into a bonus by making it a very light buy. But what Envy have done now is they've kind of removed this threat of Immortals on Stingers and SMGs, because both teams, we've seen it go back and forth both ways in the first two maps, how it kind of flip-flopped. We saw Immortals be very good with the lesser guns. Same thing with Envy here in that round specifically. So this is a much easier chance for Envy, at least. They've lessened the guns that Immortals are going to have going into this one, right? We have pistols, more Stingers. So Envy, they've got everything going for them. And once more, early control towards the showers. A shot up. Does it again with a Stinger. You give him any gun, basically, I think, Gus, and he's going to lock it down.
Oh, I would hope so. This guy had already proved it earlier with a Stinger, but that is actually very unfortunate. Needed that showstopper and what would be for a lot more tense of a scenario, but nothing of the sort is taken away from Chemicals, but he's still trying to find this kill on the boom bots. If anything, Chemicals had missed out on that kill from beyond the grave, that boom bot would have done it. Not only that, but there was a person with the trade. So now Envy, with all of that options being covered, they have 3 players all the way over towards B, and Immortals, they have to make the full rotate.
Yeah, Gangsta with Shockburst and trying to delay. Now, with this rotation going in, Gus, they're all coming from the defender spawn. They've got nothing towards Hookah, nothing towards the opposite side, and they're pushing elbow your Envy, so they're looking for an early fight, and they've got it.
Oh, they've absolutely got it. FNS is just spraying everywhere that he can. Just holding down mouse 1 and... No Food. Oh, no. Oh, that is so unfortunate, dude. Oh, he thought he had actually made a little bit of a buffer for himself, but that's just delaying time. He finally gets the wall down, and Gangsta gets the kill in the end. Oh, my.
How tragic is that?
That is actually so unfortunate. He made sure of it, too. He made sure that there would be a gap in the wall to surprise the players from Immortals. I mean, that was 1,000 IQ, but he ended up failing up the setup, so can't really pay attention too much to that. If anything, gotta take it from a wider scope. Envy went into that round with a full buy, and man, oh man, their economy getting restricted. The bonus of Immortals getting 1. Now they're getting placed in the driver's seat in terms of tempo in this game.
Yeah, it's crazy how Immortals with the lesser guns still pick it up again. Shot up with that Stinger. He still holds on to it. Now, Envy, like you said, have the lesser guns, but Caboose has gone and forced the Vandal. They've got some guns around it to at least help them, and there's the peak. Oh, Caboose want to try to avoid that recon bolt with his teammate breaking it, but he walks right into Chemicals unknowingly. One-way smoke drop for Crashies. Trailblazer will at least take down the trip early on. Now the Guiding Light trying to at least give them some space, and it does exactly that, but JC Stoney holds it down with a big 2K, and it's again Chemicals and Gangsta on the B site, locking it down. Immortals drop no one, and they go up 4-0 early in this game.
An early 4-0, not only that, but they keep it clean in that last round. Now going into this one, NV, at least with the rifles back, from what we've seen in the past few rounds,
3 almost ults.
Immortals, they've been very much contested in those hard choke points. I like this new look Immortals.
Yeah, and here
they're actually a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, Immortals, speaking of aggressive, I was going to get right to that. shoutout. He's going to vie for the early orb and showers. Throw a blaze wall up, do what he can, get that control, but he has been spotted, so he's not going to get it initially. He will try and retake this area, though. Breaking down the cam. And now on the other side, Envy, they've got 3 players, 6 out of 7, nearly completion on their ultimates. So we'll see what control they can get. But it's big that already Immortals going to take 1 off the chart. And there it is. Charged all the way up. They're going to back away. shoutout has to run it back, but there are 2 players trying to watch out these lurks as with him, at least shoutout getting control towards showers, Immortals have decided to risk this rotation. Now, the Aldrin will retake some control back, and I think at this point, Envy might have to dip back to the A site, but instead, they're trying to group up a very well-timed site for Cage. And with this run it back, shoutout can run through the TP if he wants to and still have the safety of this A site.
It's tough still. Hard crossfire over on the B site, still on A. It's going to be the 2-man stack, and they don't really intend on giving that up, at least for now. There goes that first contact, though. The double smoke, that's just easy setup around Tin Can. Not only that, but the Seekers go out. Again, massive paranoia. That's going to stop all that momentum making their way on side. And not only that, but the person in elbow could be able to actually get himself an early kill, but the wall actually goes up. But instead, now Caboose making his way up. Gangsta takes it back. Chemicals, same thing. Now it's a 2-on-5. 2 players in the front of sight with a cage up on the side. Food in such an inconspicuous spot, just looking for that first contact from the back main area. Not going to be able to find anything. Instead, now it's going to be Mummy in a 1v5. He goes down to JC Stanny and Immortals. Again, off the buy run from Envy. I was saying how they were aggressive a little bit earlier on, but they literally do a 180. Keep it completely isolated over towards site. Wait for Envy to make their take. They pressure out with the util, and they end up succeeding. A 5-0 start for Immortals, and it doesn't look like it's going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, in that round as well, Seekers go in towards elbows, and Immortals literally instantly recognized. Gangsta goes into backup. I think it's JC Stoney, and they control that elbow position. Immortals completely wary of what Envy wanted to do, and we'll see if maybe Envy can spin this one back. Mummy with at least the Blade Storm. Ultimate's ready, and I think they might be fighting for control. At least Nature is. And on the other side, Gangsta towards the side of B Long to get the early orb. So they could get 2 ults charged up. The Neural Theft and the Hunter Siri will at least get the Hunter Siri online. And this is going to be big for the retake. Chemicals drops the boom, but that's if there is even going to be needed one, as JC Stani already picks up the first. But Mummy with these knives and FNS with these peaks are making things a little bit scary. As Mummy with another. It's a 2 versus 3, and the Hunter Siri is put to waste.
Okay, Mummy just takes... Again, full control of that back spawn. Not only that, but a smoke up that's going to stop the approach even longer now.
Oh, shoutout. He's got to run it
go
back
bit by bit, but there you go. Oh, shoutout has to take that first interaction against Caboose. Caboose has it. Now it's still a little bit of a crossfire. Going to be able to make his way on. That is a massive, massive kill from shoutout, but not only that, but a massive whiff coming in from Crash. He still gets it second back. Mummy around the corner in a great off angle. Not only that, but the Hound making his way in. Mummy goes down. Gangsta 1v2 makes it into a 1v1, and there you go. Gangsta wins it back for Immortals. And again, no matter what, there's still always a chance. He has it, right? Okay, he does. Yes. So a clutch back for none other than Gangsta with, again, just a second left off that clock. So, I mean, it feels as if this game just started 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's
because it has. Immortals 6-0 right now, Sully.
Yeah, really strong. But I mean, you look at that score line, at least down in the defender, how many rounds they picked up. 5 of them have been spike defusals. That's saying something, that Envy are getting onto the site, but they are struggling in the post plan. And we see that. I mean, the fact that Crashies, or apologies, Gangsta is able to win that 1v2 so confidently is outrageous. Envy need to start locking these post plant downs. Maybe Immortals should take note as well to lock down their sites a little bit better. But back and forth we go again. We saw the first map, or the second map, apologies, start in similar fashion. And then Envy, or apologies, Immortals brought it back. So who knows what's to come. Shoutout tries to use the run it back out towards long. He's got a lot of info though. Sees 2 players. The spike will be going down. JC Stoney, he's actually going to deny it here. Nature comes up big with 3. He is a freak on the site, and JC Stoney finally comes to the rescue. They don't need anything else. They just need 2 players, 5 kills, and Nature's got 4 of them. 7-0. Immortals denied the spike plant. And well, no spike defusal needed if all you need is the kills.
I guess so. This guy, Nature, dude, he always seems to pretty much pop out of nowhere right when the team needs him. Again, so much insurance on this Immortals team, and in this round, it's Nature essentially in a firing range. Everyone just walking into his crosshairs, his movement super optimal, and Envy, they get halted. Speaking of being halted, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a pause here on the server, whether it's tactical or technical. We don't know just yet, but most likely it is a tactical for Envy. And indeed it is. You guys see it on your screens because Envy, although we don't see too many pauses in pro play just yet, it is so important in tactical FPS for just to get that mental reset in a sense. You need at least that 30-second buffer to really get yourself back into things, Sully.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Envy are the best team, at least that utilize tactical pauses, right? Get kind of that mental reset, like you said. You've got such a great head on FNS, and I mean, tac pauses we've seen can be very game-changing. Envy did it just the other day against NRG when they were on Haven. It was getting a little bit dicey, and then Envy, they take 1 tac pause, and they're right back into it. So now with the tac pause coming to a conclusion, 10 seconds left before we get the round going. Immortals have this momentum. They have so many credits. Chemicals with the op might be looking for an early peek down towards Hookah. Actually, he might be looking to go early with a showstopper. Who knows just yet? Him alongside shoutout posted up there. That is such a deadly combo we've seen time and time again. And well, out towards long, a big commotion. As Crashies grouped up, Boomba will be revealing of the position of 1. Now Envy, how do they adjust? They have full control of the showers. They're still running this early default. And with Immortals kind of hands off on this A site, are just going to try and lock down at least the U-all position. Make this retake a little bit easier. With a slow ward, I don't think Envy are going to try to aggress off of that one. As Nature turns, looks for an early fight, he might get what he wanted. He's got to back away.
Again, so much early control. It's almost expected that the wall would be going up in that position. And not only that, but that's a great TP. That's going to be an early flank over towards short. But not only that, but Nature has a lot of pixels right in front of him. Still goes back for the kill, but even then, still a 4-on-4. The neural theft ended up spawning out so many players over towards this site. Teleport coming back for Envy. Chemicals, here we go. Showstopper on 1. Still 1 over towards short. That's a trade back for Crashies. Needs this kill, although he is fully flashed. Couple of bullets back for the classic, and now they're just playing time. That's massive.
Yeah, playing around this box as well in the middle of sight. There's nothing you can really do for Chemicals. Back turned, Caboose with the easy kill, and Envy finally around on the board. Immortals kind of put, again, foot off the pedal in terms of today's site, trying to control U-Haul, and they get exposed for it. JC Stoney going down early. They try to jump over that wall, a little bit cheeky, at least for the side of Envy, and Immortals doesn't pan out the way they want. But again, credits built up, Gus. They've got nothing to worry about. Another full buy, and Envy, they've been very good at getting control. Again, they've been very optimized, or they've been optimizing the utility of Crashies, those guiding lights to get control, the Trailblazers to scout the area out. How are Immortals going to respond? Because they, again, kind of leaving the A site open, and they're conceding a lot of that information to Envy.
Where have I seen this before? Brazil Germany scoreline 7-1.
Again,
Immortals this time on top though. Envy, although they are on a little bit of an go, they could have made their way through, but that initial peak from Food like you said, had to be absolutely massive, but that's a huge trade back for the boys of Immortals. Is now shot up on the front end, can't get anything done, and now a cage at the perfect time. JC Stanley can't get anything done from the rotations on, so instead now Envy control this site, still wanting to take a little bit more, but that cage dissipates at the perfect time. Chemicals takes it back onto Mame. Immortals, they're going to extend their lead up to 8-1. And Envy, again, off of that one, didn't have at least too much of a plan other than the A site take, and really the pivotal characters that they needed actually for that take ended up going down early, so that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, Immortals making adjustments. Again, going back to Envy getting very early control. Immortals, they put a lot more pressure up at least. So at least in this one, Immortals shot up in Gangsta, only one off their ult torps. Could change how they go. We've seen Gangsta be at least very proactive in getting long control, and Envy haven't really tested the waters of B. So now they're going to try and work something out. Gangsta spotted, so they deny the ult torp. So there's no Hunter Siri chance, at least for the side of Immortals. Now shot up, wants the kill, but he's gunned down by Crash. He's huge frag back. A revive and Seeker still to work with, and neural theft as well for Envy. They slowed things down off of that kill. The Trailblazer to clear out Hookah once more. And Envy looking good. They have a late lurk as well for Food, at least on the A side. And Immortals, they've drawn all these rotations here. And if Food can get a lot of info, if he can get a lot of ground, they can easily dip. And, I mean, you've already got Mummy right next to that TP as Food is killing a fake over towards the A side. But no rotation being drawn yet by Immortals.
Okay. Still over towards the side of Immortals, like you mentioned. A whole lot of attention on the A side, but with only 2 players here. And one over in mid. Envy, they just barrel their way through for a second round win. And well, there you go. Envy, they took it nice and slow like they usually do, but that explosion on the rotation back to B was massive.
Yeah, huge. I mean, you at least as well had Food kind of just sitting in the TP waiting for Nature to run on through. Envy with a big second round to bring things back. Keeping this, at least the momentum, kind of 50-50 in the second half, or the second quarter, if you will, of the first half. And now Immortals, 2 ults charged up, shot up in Gangster. We're only 1 off again. Those rounds that they amassed, 7 in a row, keep their economy going. Trailblazer to fight for control. There's going to be no retake attempt, at least from Immortals. It's basically free real estate. Envy, crashes with the birds. A good bit of information. Clears out at least short, and a smoke drop, so we won't let go for the initial peak. Now, Envy, this is more their style. Very default heavy. With info denied towards A, they at least have long control here as Gangsta looks to retake. That's not going to be enough. He has a Hunter's Fury, and he's going to use it. Can he get this kill, however? And that's trying to hop all over, and it is going to connect at least for 1. Now, Chemicals back towards Hookah, spots 1, and they've got all the info. Now, Envy, can they get the kills onto the site?
With the info jump peak, that's at least 1 over towards Hookah, but the rest of Envy, they still don't stop. Over and long, but crashes through the smoke and through a wall, takes down Chemicals. Shut up doesn't seem like he's stopping either. They'll run it back. He doesn't want to go back. He wants to get these kills beforehand, but the player through the teleporter goes in at the perfect time. And the rotation on A is fully underway. There's a person over towards short that could be able to make that flank really quickly. Same thing with the player on A. Finally, Gangsta takes down Crashies, but even then, Nature with a massive opportunity in terms of information. JC Stanny in bathroom. Nature catches Caboose completely off guard. And Nature, he comes up clutch again. JC Stanny, I was developing him the entire time, but it was Nature to come out big again. 8-2 scoreline for Immortals. It's going to be boosted up to 9-2. That's the type of performance that you like to see after Envy looks real good on that B site.
Dude, perfect stuff from Immortals, though, to kind of lock it down. Great info peaks. Gangsta, that Hunter Shooter was huge. It comes in so clutch to delay. If he doesn't get that tag, if he doesn't kind of push these players of Envy back towards long and not let them get all up on the doorstep of B, there's nothing you can do there if you're shot up with that run up back. But Nature, the dude is an animal. And then you said you developed JC Stoney. Well, here he was to get the final kill. It's all a symphony here for Immortals in this first half, and we're heading into it with a possible double-digit scoreline for Immortals. I mean, this is dominance at its best, and it's the same storyline we saw in Icebox. We don't know Immortals here, but they are proving to us that they've put in so much time and have developed their map pool.
Again, such a quick turnaround for the squad, but again, Envy, they want to shut down that progress, don't they? FNS essentially on his lone sub, and oh no, shot up, you hate to see it. Oh my. It's almost unbelievable that they didn't actually go for that kill through the smoke. They're in such good position, but no, Caboose. Oh, you gotta be joking me. JC Standing had no chance for kills at the very end there, but Caboose was there, but there you go. Food takes down JC Stanny. The revive could come out at literally any point. Mame now on the front lines with the Blade Storm, and Envy. They have more than enough control, but look who it is once again. It's Nature on the front lines, and he's actually countered up with someone. Mummy gets the information and still the kill onto shoutout. That is an amazing play from Mummy, as he's actually looking over towards the backside of A and then goes back into U-Haul, still gets the kill. That is amazing. Chemical is now last person remaining in a 1v5. No way he does actually go for this, right? I mean, he has to,
Yeah,
but
it's last round, so.
I know it's last round, but I mean, Chemical's almost no chance at this point. I mean, hey, if you look at it on the bright side, 2 kills here out of the 4 could lead him into the showstopper, which would be kind of cool to see, but he would have to go lightning quick. The half is going to end, folks. 9-3 going over towards the side of Immortals. Envy finally heating up a bit at the end there with a couple of rounds traded back, winning 3 out of the last 5. So statistically speaking, they're still looking fine, especially after that pause, first of all. But going into this next half, Immortals, I mean, they already were looking a little bit aggressive in the first half of the first half, but now that they're on the attacking half, I'm excited to see what they actually have to pull up, especially on the B site.
I love it. First half of the first half. Technically the first quarter.
Spitting.
Immortals,
First quarter,
like you said, super aggressive. Do they do that again here on the attack? I'd imagine so. You've got the fraggers, shot up, chemicals, and it's kind of a surprise we're saying Nature because he's literally playing the Sentinel. His goal is to not get aggressive, but he's been doing a really good job of locking down sites. He does fight a little bit early towards the side of Showers. He has trips set up, so they're going to focus heavy at least towards the long side. And Crashies, his birds can go big. Slow orbs available here as well for food. We know this team loves to use frenzies, and Crashies with the Ghost has already got a dink. Trailblazer and the Guiding Light to delay. How long can he hold these players back? There's a big emphasis of utility in this fight, and there comes Food. Wall up in Hookah, so he only has to focus in one direction, and Caboose looking for another onto Nature. It's Envy, lights out in this one, and it's Gangsta left in a clutch.
I have the spike.
Gangsta 1v3, full control of site.
Spike planted.
2 players from MV, about to be 3 over towards that hookah area. Again, such a tall task for the man. He has almost nothing to work with. He would have needed a kill off of that first contact to really make things happen. But in the end, Envy has the info, and at least off of that sake, Immortals just booting their way on. And Envy, if we're being completely honest, it was a little bit looser of a hold on site, but it was good with what they had to work with.
Yeah. I mean, Immortals, it's a really rough hold, at least, or a really rough site to take with that utility. Like you said, they use what they had available to them. Crashies uses it perfectly. Drops the first flash, like I mentioned earlier, and it delays literally everything. Food with that wall, those slow orbs. He does everything in his power, right? This retake as well for Envy, even when Gangsta is in a 1v3, they play so well coordinated, and they don't give any early kills up. So Immortals, there's nothing we can take from that round. Envy played that perfectly, and now Immortals, they did their best, and now they've got to try and do one better with just pistols in this one. An early trip up, and they might not recognize that threat, but a great hot hand and a great paint shell to force players in these cubbies out. 3v2, and with the better guns, they're gonna get the kills. And whoever shot up with 1, it's Mummy back for the trade. They did what they could. Not much else you can do here for Immortals. They do get another couple kills back, but I don't think there's much else. As a 3v2, and Mummy's got good positioning, however.
Yeah, great positioning, right? JC Stanny, however, with the Bulldog could definitely boot on a little bit of damage. Teleporter is still fully in their view, but Envy, they have that covered too. Crashy's looking over towards the mid side, waiting for that rotation. Envy, even though the players are really fully in control of the site, really the only place that they really can go because of a player in bathroom is towards backside. So indeed, Food is there to cover up the option. I mean, this is just great option coverage from Envy, and Mummy doesn't see him to stop, though, around the corner. Gangsta, he was the man with full HP. He's going to go down. 1 bullet, a gust of wind would do it onto JC Stanny. And indeed, Mummy is going to finish off the round with a 4K. That's huge.
Yeah, so now keep this in mind, is that Mummy with that 4K, He's going to be 5 of 6 on the Bladestorm. He can drop the Bulldog over, and he can go for the early ult orb control if he wants and just get the Bladestorm online. So this is the bonus for Envy, losing 2 players, and Mummy doesn't have to make any investments. So again, this is basically a full bonus for them. Everyone's sticking on the 1K credit mark, and if Mummy can get the Bladestorm, which it seems to be already for free, little control here for Immortals as 2 players end up rotating back, but can they beat him in time here? And Envy, they've set themselves up here. A really great bonus position that they're in now. A Recon Bolt will at least find its way, I think, in the middle of bathrooms. If not, maybe a little bit later. So there's the orb. In control here of Envy, but still a little bit of a fight towards Zuka. Food with slow orbs to delay. And Immortals, they're fighting for control with everything that they've got, and they can get nothing for it.
Ooh. Double coverage bathroom. It's just the information play more at this point, but with Immortals on the defaults, with 2 players over towards Hookah, once again, it's looking very evident from what was at least the pistol round shenanigans. They might be getting caught off by this trap too. Still breaking down the wall, just trying to make as much noise as possible. Immortals, they haven't really found any opportunities for frags though, and it's really time is running out for them.
Yeah, not a lot here that Envy, or apologies, Immortals can really do because they have no control. They're walking into this essentially blind, and Envy crashes with a huge flash. That gives them all the info. They know this is going to be an A play, but they're sticking around just in case. FNS up close. Great paranoia. He comes in big, at least on the side of Caboose, and Mummy trying to hold it down. It's Gangster with another, and Mummy's got to back away. Immortals have spun this back, and they are pressuring Mummy to his death.
With Mame going down and Envy now down to 2 players, this retake, oh man, it becomes so tough, so laborious, but watch out. Food could definitely be the X factor here. Making his way through bathroom, but essentially this peek from heaven has to come out at almost literally the same exact time that Food goes out. They have to split the attention, they have to make their way on, nobody peeks him out, the flash from Crashies, and there you go! Like I said, Food at the perfect time, able to get himself 2, now JC Standing 1v2! Paranoia at a great time, doesn't get Food, and Food gets it! How on earth does Envy do it? 2 on 4, and my oh my, Envy, they have a way back at a round where it looked certainly lost.
Dude, you absolutely called it. Envy. How does Food get even 2 there? Talk about the peaks. Crashies, he wanted to peek Kevin. They said, no, I'm going to trust my teammate. Why would we peek in the same angle with a smoke down as well? Huge, huge stuff from Food. The double kill, and that was perfect. Food with the 3rd and final. I mean, Envy, they make it look like light work, like child's play for them. Immortals, that was theirs. It was in the bag. A 4v2 they lost. And they must be kicking themselves for that one. They could have had 10 here. And Envy stringing a couple rounds together. Crashes with the info. And Immortals, they're actually gunning and running straight into Hookah. Slow orb or not, they're going to get the kills. And same thing here with Crashies. Alone on the site, and he goes down to Gangsta Sheriff. 4 versus 3. Immortals have the site, but we've seen what Envy can do on these retakes.
We just saw it in the last round. I mean, we have to anticipate that they got something cooking up. And it's mostly over towards at least the back main area. That's big for Chemicals. Mummy just running away. That Hunter's Fury chasing him in the skies. Not only that, but FNS almost gets tagged. Still around the corner. It's going to be the peek out from FNS, and Nature can't clutch it out. Still a 2-on-2. Both players low on HP. This seems more than certain as a win for Immortals, but these players, they pulled off magic before that flash. Ain't exactly gonna catch one, but the double flash, actually, that's less than expected. And I thought shoutout actually got that kill. The 1-2 combo, but Gangsta gets it back. You see the word on your screen, folks. It's thrifty. An eco round being won by Immortals. Envy left now on their back foot. A couple of players are just about 2K in the bank. 6K on Food. He can play around with it still. And a couple of players, looks like they're forcing up, Sully.
Oh my gosh, Immortals. Not a lot to work with. Same thing with Envy, though. Like you said, forcing up, both sides forcing up now. I mean, it's been financial turmoil for Immortals, right? 3 rounds you've lost in a row, and most of those have been you putting so much into those rounds. So to get at least some stable footing, only walking in with 2 players, it's gonna hurt. FNS up in an early cage to at least allow Caboose to get this control. Now it's a swing at the ready. Flash and 2 players to peek. Both Nature and Shot up ready. And Immortals, where's this pressure going to be? They're going to try and get this control. Can JC Stani hold it? Whereas here, they're getting down aggressive mid. FNS alongside Mummy trying to fight for this control. Immortals are ready for a burst play, but I think it pivots around this one play. They know where Caboose is. They're going to try and gun him down, and Caboose, he's able to get away, and even with a kill, Cheeky and Mummy's here to save him if need be. Envy fight for control, and they've actually ended up winning it. With that finesse going down, the Immortals can definitely spring in onto the site.
Oh, absolutely. JC standing with a big kill. Immortals, same thing. Now they go back on shoutout, depending on him for the bathroom's opening. But watch out for the Seekers. Watch out for the retake over towards short. Gangsta has the hold, and he's gonna make it a second. There you go. It's as easy as you can get. Players just walking on through. It's a straight line. Gangsta with a pre-peek. It's in the right position. Immortals 11-6. Again, folks, let me remind you, this is a map that Immortals just has not played at all in this tournament. It's almost the exact same situation as NV came into this game. No games played on Icebox, they win it out. Immortals, nothing played on Bind. Well, they're sweeping up NV at the moment. They still need 2 rounds to really clutch it out. But boy, they're making it look good.
2 more rounds. It's crazy to think that these teams are going to take each other's map picks. And Envy, this was theirs. 9-1 in the last 10 games, undefeated, and this is the first team to ever make it to double digits in the VCT. Immortals, a statement and a half. Now can Envy hold them back? Already the first kill. There's the trade. Oh, Mummy runs out of bullets, and he could have had 2. Envy now down a man, but there is one player, FNS. He's been so good in controlling showers, but now he's got to choose the perfect moment to speak. They have a revive as well for food. But Immortals, these ghost plants are big. That's a huge neural theft now as well.
Oh, absolutely. Gangsta. He can go out on the peak. That position was absolutely needed for the first contact, but even then, Crashies now 1v3. JC Standing already has a 3K, but Crashies now needs to go nuts. But shoutout shuts it down. Immortals now up 12-6. They're looking to close out map 3 in style, as now Envy still has the rifles back in this next round, and they're going to be able to buy realistically for the rest of this game.
Now look at the kill feeder. At least look at the scoreboard. 16, 15, 14, 14, 14. It is so consistent for Immortals. It's actually crazy looking at those numbers in Envy. They've been putting up good numbers, at least on their the first quarter, if you will, here in the second half, or I guess the third quarter. But I mean, Immortals, again, that trade potential, it's what's making them so deadly. As one player goes down, there's always going to be a second at a different angle or at the same angle to swing. Immortals are playing their game perfectly, and Envy, they're getting locked. 2 players pushed towards short, however. There's one late lurk, at least for Nature, to try and spot them off guard. They're fighting here for Hookah. Needs to force food out. He can retake if necessary, but a wall ready if he wants to. Now with Envy, slowing things down here. Immortals have to try to adjust. Nature with the kill. Is he ready for the second drop? He's got the crowd.
Nature with a 2K. Already early
that.
on, and he was on the lurk.
Yeah.
That's the lurker getting the 2K, and that's A site being opened wide open. Still Crashy's making his way back. Not only that, but with the Seekers that, again, recharge essentially in just about 2 rounds, but Nature doesn't care. 3K from Nature, still looking over towards the bathroom area, because man, oh man, Envy,
Nature,
they have 2 players completely disconnected. Nature gets himself a 4th. Food now the last one remaining in a 1v5. Food? I mean, just gotta take it pick by pick. Immortals, well done here on Bind. They're gonna take it over Envy 13-6, and with this 2-1 scoreline, they're looking to sweep up this grand finals with just 1 more map coming up.
And it's their map pickup as well, Ascent. I mean, it's crazy to think that these teams have taken each other's map picks. And I mean, Immortals, they do it dominantly on Split, and now here on Bind. Envy, they've got to be at a loss for words. I mean, Icebox was a performance and a half, but if they can't do it here on Ascent, then unfortunately, Immortals, they'll be taking that #1 seed. This series, we said, was boiling down to all 5, and if they can do it here, Envy, I wouldn't be surprised.
What can I say? I mean, I said earlier that I was expecting the 2 maps to really go towards the team that picked them out. I mean, that's the forehead thing to say, but yeah. Even then, it was mainly because of the statistics going back on it. I mean, Immortals, really not having too much experience really in the first and the third maps. And I was thinking that Envy would be in this exact same situation. If anything, Icebox was looking very dangerous for the team of Immortals too. The fact that they have still impressed us once again, just in this set alone, this team has so much going, not only on this game, but in this tournament alone. Close qualifiers starting in just a couple of days, and Immortals, they're looking good, they're looking hot, but they still have to finish it off. The next map is going to be huge, folks, but before we go, we have to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, to our main sponsor of this phase of challengers. Of course, thank you so much to HyperX. For those that are looking for utmost comfort, you guys already saw it before. I'm wearing a headset, you guys just don't know it. But for those that are looking for something a little bit more wireless, check out the Cloud 2 Wireless. HyperX, always utmost quality, comfort, and sound. And they are the peripherals and DRAM partner for the first stage of the VALORANT Challengers tournaments. Already millions of people wear these things, and you guys should too. Of course, folks, we are going to be moving on. The next map coming up between Envy and Immortals is going to be absolutely massive, and you guys don't want to miss it at all. It's grand finals here, and it could be all shut down in just a little bit. Don't want to miss it.
I feel like I need to defend my scene's honor here, because this is just turning into a bit of a dog battle.
Like in groups always look.
I'm cutting you off here. I'm cutting you off. Cutting you off. He said G2's winning it. He said G2's winning it.
We need to wait till the next EU tournament, which could be in about 10 years now.
Take it with like a grain of salt.
No,
but
that's
that
no
being
fun.
said,
Take it super literally.
Spike defused.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.